the 6th to the 8th of September of 2015, the joint conference of the Confucius Institutes in Europe took place in Sofia, Bulgaria, hosted by the Sophia University, St. Clement Ochridsky, and the Confucius Institute in Sofia. At the same time, on September the 7th, the formal opening ceremony of the Model Confucius Institute in its renovated building was held. The new center has a surface area of more than 2,000 square meters, granted by Sophia University, and the renovation has been completed with the financial support of the Confucius Institute headquarters, Hanban. The building is equipped with modern facilities and a variety of specialized premises such as classrooms, language labs, a library with reading rooms, an exhibition hall, conference rooms, and a multifunctional hall. Before entering the institute, the guests were greeted by live Bulgarian music and girls dressed in national costumes, and each of them received a red rose, the symbol of Bulgaria. Among the honored guests that attended both events were the Prime Minister of Bulgaria, Mr. Boyko Borisov, His Excellency the Ambassador of the People's Republic of China, Mr. Wei Xinhua, the Director General of Hanban, Ms. Xu Lin, the Minister of Education in Bulgaria, Professor Todor Tanev, the Rector of Sofia University, Professor Ivan Ilchev, the Chairman of the Beijing Foreign Studies University Council, Professor Han Zhen, the rectors of many prestigious Chinese and European universities, directors of Confucius Institutes across Europe, etc. The opening ceremony was led by Professor Alexander Fedotov, Honorary Director of the Confucius Institute in Sofia, who welcomed all the guests and participants in the conference and wished them a pleasant stay in Bulgaria. Following his address, Professor Ivan Ilchev pointed out in his welcoming speech that becoming a Model Confucius Institute was one of the biggest recognitions that the Confucius Institute in Sofia has received from Hanban. He also expressed his delight that the Sophia University has been chosen as the coordinating center of the initiative 16+1, 16 Central and Eastern European countries cooperating with China, which is being developed in the area of higher education and science. Ms. Xu Lin, Director General of Hanban, also expressed her happiness that since the Institute was established in 2007, it has held various educational and cultural events and has provided diverse and accessible Chinese language courses that are open to adults as well as children. She briefly pointed out that some of the major events in the cooperation between Bulgaria and China and the importance of the Confucius Institute as a bridge that links the two cultures. Despite not being able to attend the ceremony, the President of Bulgaria, Mr. Rosen Plevneliev, issued a welcoming address which was delivered by the President's Education, Science, and Civil Society Relations Secretary, Associate Professor Rumiana Kolarova. The President pointed out that the Confucius Institute in Sofia is becoming more and more an important part of international relations between Bulgaria and China, and is the leading educational and cultural center for teaching Chinese language and culture. He also shared his firm belief that the new and modern institute will soon become a platform for sharing educational, scientific, and cultural projects of great importance to both countries. It was great recognition for the Institute's position, the fact that the Prime Minister of Bulgaria, Mr. Boyko Borisov, attended the opening ceremony. He welcomed all of the guests and expressed his delight that the center had a contemporary look and broader possibilities for future development. He placed a strong emphasis on the successful visit of the Bulgarian president to China in 2014 and the positive outcome it had for the mutual understanding and diplomatic relations between both countries. In his opinion, the new and extended building of the Institute is a big step towards spreading Chinese language and culture, as well as supporting business relations between Bulgaria and China. The ribbon was cut by the honorable guests, Ms. Xu Lin, Mr. Boyko Borisov, Mr. Todor Tanev, Ms. Rumiana Kolarova, His Excellency Mr. Wei Xinhua, Professor Han Zhen, and Professor Ilchev. Following the Bulgarian tradition, after the ceremony, the guests were welcomed with bread and salt, a Bulgarian tradition that represents wishes of good luck for a new beginning. Later, on September the 7th, in the Aula Magna of Sofia University, was the opening ceremony for the 2015 Joint Conference of the Confucius Institutes in Europe. It was the first time that the Confucius Institute in Sofia and Sofia University, the oldest institution of higher education in Bulgaria, hosted this annual event. The main goal of the joint conference is to promote the exchange of ideas and experience between the Confucius Institutes in Europe to enhance their cooperation and balanced development. There were over 100 participants from 22 countries: Poland, Hungary, Romania, Slovakia, Croatia, Sweden, Belgium, Cyprus, etc. There were also representatives from universities and other educational institutions in China, as well as headmasters of schools teaching the Chinese language in Bulgaria. Before the plenary session, the guests enjoyed several musical performances by students and friends of the Confucius Institute in Sofia. The program included Bulgarian folklore songs, Chinese popular songs, and many more. The rector of Sofia University, Professor Ivan Ilchev, held the VIP speech with the opening remarks. He shared with the participants some of the expectations that Sofia University has concerning the future development of the Confucius Institute in Sofia. Madam Xu Lin and Professor Han Zhen also shared insights on the cooperation between Sofia University and the Beijing Foreign Studies University, wishing the Confucius Institute in Sofia both successful and sustainable development. At the end of the opening ceremony, all of the conference participants took part in a group photo at the entrance of Sofia University's Aula Magna, one of the oldest and most exquisite halls of this historical Bulgarian university. In the afternoon, still on September the 7th, the plenary session of the conference began. The session was chaired by Professor Ma Xianfei, Deputy Chief Executive of the Confucius Institute Headquarters and Deputy Director General, or Hanban. Former Confucius Institute Director Dr. Antonia Sankova presented the university expectation to the Confucius Institute for the new decade, and Professor Sibrandes Popema, Rector of Groningen University, made some important remarks on the cooperation between the Confucius Institutes and enterprises. At the end of the session, the Vice Rector of Iotfos Lorand University, Professor Erdodi Gabor, brought to the attention of the participants the importance of local Chinese teachers' education and training.
European Union, governmental and institutional levels in the future. Thank you very much.
编辑我想跟他们，我估计可能这个第一次就是很大胆的，就是。
During the two-day conference, the participants were divided into 4 groups, where they discussed different topics pertaining to Chinese language education and the development of the Confucius Institutes around the globe.
High school, and then faculty, because this is, if we're talking about the development of 10, 20 years, not tomorrow, because if you just work...
The main issues that were touched upon were measures to enhance the quality and performance of the Confucius Institutes, how to become a qualified teacher and professional learning for the local teachers, contribution of the Confucius Institute to economics and trade cooperation between China and other countries, etc.
Seems to me the translation can be that to the world of calculation, friendship and understanding by the Chinese language.
At the end, each of the group leaders had to pinpoint what were the major results of the discussions and share these results with the other participants. Professor Ma Xianfei then gave conference conclusion remarks. With the new center, there are new opportunities as well as new challenges ahead of the Confucius Institute in Sophia. Being appointed as one of the 14 model Confucius Institutes around the world, it is our responsibility to continue with a proactive attitude and tireless efforts to evolve, develop, and upgrade in the areas of Chinese language teaching and organizing cultural events, which will enhance mutual cultural understanding between China and Bulgaria.